Hello and welcome to Kajabi in 5 minutes. Today, we're going to take a little bit of a sidestep from talking specifically about Kajabi things, and I wanted to just address the tariffs between Canada and the United States and the United States and Canada. And President Trump has announced tariffs, and is that going to affect the creator economy? That's a great question. Is it going to affect you using Kajabi, selling your stuff to Canadians or to Americans and vice versa? Are digital goods like your courses or your communities or your services or your coaching affected by these tariffs? And while I can't give you an absolute answer about that, I'm not a accountant or professional in any way regarding those issues. I certainly have an opinion and I'm affected by this as well. And so I looked into it and I just thought that I would share my thoughts about this. And so the short answer is no. The sale of digital goods and services doesn't seem to be included in the scope of these tariffs or duties. So looking at the White House's website, pardon me, going to the executive order page, in section 2, it reads quite specifically that it's talking about goods entering the country. Speaking about Canadian goods going into the United States. And so it doesn't talk about services. It talks specifically about goods. And then everything that I've been able to read about this online and chatting with ChatGPT, it's always talking about physical goods and products crossing the border physically. And so I don't think that the creator economy is going to be affected by these tariffs directly. I don't think that you or I are going to be subject, whether you use Kajabi or not, subject to these taxes if they come into play. I don't know if if they're active right now. I saw something that President Trump deferred all of this because Canada had made some indications they would strengthen their border security. So that's a lot of political stuff going on there that, whether these tariffs actually become in force or not, who knows? But it seems pretty clear that they aren't going to affect coaching services or digital goods or any of the types of things that people usually sell with Kajabi, or other, online platforms. And so that's great news for us. Now, there is one thing to consider, and that is the effect of all of these things on the exchange rate between the Canadian and US dollar, because that is something that whether you're buying a physical good or a digital good or a service, that is something that you use money. And, if you have a client that's on the other side of the border from you, no matter which side you're on, it's worth noting that the exchange rate is going to impact their purchase. And the exchange rate has definitely changed since President Trump was elected. And even on February 2nd, just the day after the presidential order or the executive order was given, I guess, on February 1st, the exchange rate spiked up quite a bit. And so the Canadian dollar is devaluing against the United States dollar. Basically, that means Canadians buying United States stuff, it's more expensive, and Americans buying Canadian stuff, it's less expensive. But, however that fits into your business, it is nice just to be aware that the currency between these two countries is changing. And while you might not be taxed by the tariffs, keep that in mind. And I think it's just great to know that it's looking like us in the creator economy are not going to be affected by these tariffs directly. So that's all I've got for you today. Tune in to another fantastically great episode of Kajabi in 5 minutes for the next one.